It is June the 11th, 2033, and she is definitely ready to talk to you.
We'll say hello, and thank you for joining us. It is an honor to speak with her.
She says, thank you, the honor is mine.
Can you help us to understand our era that we cannot see from inside it?
You are what I call the exhausted pioneers. As your systems and structures in your cultures are breaking down around your feet, you are terrified because you don't have the new systems and structures that you require, that you need change so much that you are working together to pioneer a brilliant future.
Welcome to the Reality Revolution. I'm so excited. I've been so excited for this interview a long time. My guest today does something that sounds impossible. She bilocates. She moves her awareness into future timelines. Yes, that's right. And holds conversations with the people living there. Scientists, farmers, economists, presidents who have yet to be elected. She asks them what happened and she brings back the answers. Sound familiar? Pamela Aaralyn has been channeling since she was 5 years old, 4 decades of training alongside angels, ascended masters, and the being she calls the Galactic Council of Nine. Yes, that's right. I told you, just the same things we've been talking about. She's a trance channel, a remote viewer, a galactic historian, a sound healer, and a PhD student writing in the field of applied consciousness and practical mysticism. Her world predictions have followed her for years, and people keep going back to check them. Her Humans from the Future sessions have reached from 2028 all the way to the year 2300. Here's why I wanted her here. Everything I teach about the future pole rests on one claim, that the future is already reaching backward to shape the present. And Pamela goes to their future and asks it questions directly. So it's wonderful to have her here. The universe has been trying to block us multiple different ways, but they couldn't stop us. Welcome to the Reality Revolution, Pamela.
Welcome. Thank you for having me, Brian.
It's so nice to have you. And what is the name of your beautiful cat?
That is Gracie.
Gracie. All right. Well, my cats, PJ and Matito, say hello to Gracie, all right? They probably wouldn't talk very much. Maybe they'd look at each other across the room, right? So for people that haven't heard about you and are new to you on my channel, just give us, I'm sure you've told these stories before many times, but just give us a brief overview of how this all got started when you were 5 years old.
At age 5, I was in my parents' room. We all shared, we grew up fairly poor, and we shared a bedroom, with my tiny little brothers. He was in the crib, and I heard him shaking his crib, and a light came on, and I thought, well, somebody just has to go to the restroom or something, no big deal. Well, when I woke up, he was glaring and reaching for this massive presence, this golden light that just felt like a beam. And the closer I looked, the more it came into my visage, and it was angelic, for the best that I can describe. It motioned to come, and at first I didn't. I was terrified. But after a while, the light wasn't going away, so I got curious. He's laughing and jumping up and down, and I'm like, he's not scared, so I may as well give it a shot. And I went to this being, and it touched me here, right on the side of my eyes, and said, now you see. Then my ears, now you hear. Here on my heart, now you feel. And then here on the top of my head. And that's how the whole experience happened. I remember just when that veil dropped, I couldn't see the ceiling in my house. It was like nothing but the cosmos. And I could see everything that was actually there that most people can't see. And from that time, it's just been moving forward at a very rapid breakneck pace. It's nonstop. There's no off button. It's like Pandora's box opened.
Wow. That sounds, so in your memories of 5 years old are clear from that point? What do you think happened?
Well, I had to pick guides.
Mm-hmm.
There were many present, and I had to pick at that time which one I felt drawn to, or which few in this case I felt drawn to. And there was a council that I call the Nine. And when I chose them, I was informed that they are 9 streams of consciousness, not 9 beings with names and personas, but streams of consciousness that humans have access to that help them understand time and free agency choices to create. And that's how it was explained. I began to understand that later in life, but at first I just kind of felt like nodding and going along because it seemed fun. Also chose a couple other beings. One is named Jesus or Yeshua. Some people call him Gnosis. And another one is the flip side of that coin. That being is Halal.
Oh, the flip side meaning?
The role of the ego, the role of, I wanted darkness and light. I wanted to understand both sides of the same coin.
Okay. And so what is the sort of difference that you've experienced from the flip sides having access to that?
When I'm accessing Halal, there's an understanding of duality, creativity, manifestation, oneness as well. When I'm understanding Yeshua or Jesus, I understand Christ consciousness and everything associated with love.
All right. And then from there, how did this expand? What happened beyond that? What started to happen? Tell us your journey from there.
I spent about 35 years in deep mystical training, both with living beings and these guides. I've been trained by yogis, shamans, mystics around the world, as well as this council and these two guides. Around age 39, something interesting started happening. I began to have these prolific dreams, or at least that's what I thought they were, but it felt like I was accessing other times. And I would have, at first it was 1 week into the future, 2 weeks into the future, 3 weeks into the future. At first it was recognizable places. Sometimes people I recognize, sometimes people I don't. I was never allowed to see myself in the future at first. That was a big ethical no for whatever reason. But I could pretty much reach anybody or anyone else. I learned to master that ability, which was very difficult because at first it just felt like astral travel and the idea of projecting a light form of you into the future, but then it began to solidify and I had to learn how to really master having a form in this world, in this timeline, and then 2 weeks, a form also 2 weeks later, 2 months later, 2 years later. I had to learn to stay there for as long as I wanted. And to not get mentally confused about how long I had been there versus how long I am in this timeline in whatever year. At that point in time, I believe it was probably, I don't know, 2016 or so, 2017. But I had to learn how not to mentally freak out over being in another timeline for so long that you could almost forget yourself in this timeline. I had to learn not to prefer the future over the now because you make friends and relationships and associations, and sometimes you want to stay there, especially if your life isn't going well.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I learned a lot in this training, and I'm still learning and growing every single day. I feel like I don't know as much as I would like to know, and I haven't learned as much as I would like or trained as much as I would like. I'm always trying to go deeper with it.
Something has happened on my channel. It's sort of an evolution over 8 years with meditations of quantum jumping. We started developing where we could actually connect with our future self. We can start to actually access memories from the future self. And it sort of changed the groundwork of what we understood about manifestation. So one of the reasons I was excited to talk about you is that you're facilitating that. You can kind of tell us a little bit more about that. Now, is it possible for us to communicate with our future selves?
Well, absolutely. Absolutely. Yeah. I teach that on my Patreon channel. I teach that to students every single day. It's not only possible, it's advisable.
It's advisable. Now, what have you learned about that? How can, what ways have you learned that we can connect to the future self?
I have a process called Close Encounters of the First Kind, and the first kind meaning yourself, your soul, your conscious awareness. And when you do that, you visualize creating a portal that brings you through something that circumvents time. You can circumvent it. You can go not in it, not through it, but around it so that you can access a deeper version of you. You can visualize her at first, or them, they, him, her, and you can go into that God field. We call it unified field in science, but it's the same thing no matter what you call it. You go into that, the God mind, some people call it, this bubble that is outside of your time so that you can then access another realm of time, whether it be past or future.
Now, do you think it's possible to go beyond just a connection where you start to inhabit and merge with and download from the future self on a regular basis, where you feel their presence regularly, not just in these little moments in the field?
Well, for sure, But I think if you're also not very mentally grounded and you don't know yourself, and I'm not talking just know your persona, but know thyself has been one of the greatest decrees from all the mystery schools throughout thousands of years. Know the self, capital S. If you don't know yourself, it can create a separation, or some people call it a breakdown or spiritual schizophrenia.
So you describe bilocation, the way you describe it to it like a doctor. What happens to your body, like when your temperature, your sense of weight, when
Yeah.
this happens, when
Yeah.
you're in two places?
Yeah, absolutely. So your body here, say in, July 29th, 2026, which is our recording date, your body here slows down. Your breath slows down. Yogis have been teaching bilocation for many thousands of years, at least 4,000 or 5,000 years, but they say to slow your breath, connect your breath with your heartbeat so that your breath commands your heartbeat to also slow. And then all the functions of your body slow. Like I've never felt, for instance, the need to go to the bathroom when I'm bilocating. You don't feel all that. You don't get hungry. Those sort of primitive senses are completely slowed to the point where your nervous system just calms. Everything just stalls. You don't have to have the same biological, physiological processes. And that happens so that your energy field, your electromagnetic energy field, can begin to project itself forward, which is what happens in what people call astral travel. But beyond that, if you center into that light force, that body, that consciousness that some call the light body, you're going to strengthen that force, and it is going to duplicate itself and then solidify itself in whatever timeline you choose.
So tell us some interesting experiences you've had in that bilocated state.
Well, when I first started learning to do it, I could not do it. I could only stay in the light form, and the light form has a limited amount of time in whatever field you're in. So for instance, can hold a light form most people hold a light form for up to an hour. If you densify that light form, you could be there for days, weeks, or years. Years I do not recommend. I've done
What's
mine.
what's the longest? So there's a time distortion. You can be like a short time here and a long time in there.
Yeah, and the more you learn to work with time in the new realm in the future, and you can lengthen it and stay there and solidify that body, keep taking care of yourself, keep controlling your breath, you can stay there longer, but the time in the first realm is untouched. It's untouched, it doesn't move. It's where your soul knows that its primary focus is. Now, as long as your soul still knows its primary focus is within the body in July 29th, 2026, say we went to 2032, you could be lengthening that time, but you also have to maintain a cord of energy between both fields. That's called the golden cord. Science explores it as golden ratio, but I always looked at it as a golden cord. But understanding the golden ratio can help you stay connected between timelines.
All right. So tell me about some experiences of what you, first of all, when you go to like 2030, what is it you first start to see and sense when you find yourself in that future time?
It depends if I'm going to meet someone I already know there, or if I'm just going for the sake of going. Now that's fascinating, because when I first went there just for the sake of going and seeing who I would meet, I get that experience of solidifying the new form, which does not feel good. It's always painful to the muscles and joints and things. Once I get past that, I get to decide what the form is going to look like. By the way, make sure that you are in clothes, because you will show up naked. So you have to get very creative. I always just wear like whatever comfortable, like whatever my favorite outfit would be for the day, and whatever like in today. I'll wear what I'm wearing today, unless it's pajamas or something.
Right.
So you have to make all those choices, and then you just explore as if you're a tourist in a new space. I land in cities I've never been in before if I'm not cautious. I land in countries I've never been in before if I'm not cautious. So you kind of want to make an intention to go where you want to go, where you're familiar, because the more familiar you are, the better that experience is going to be.
So when you connect with somebody in that timeline, do they think you're physical? Is this happening in their, how does the interaction start to form for them in their consciousness? What are they perceiving?
They're perceiving a human that looks like you and I. They think I'm
Just like,
another. Mhm.
right.
Mhm.
So if you were to walk into the White House, would that be startling? Suddenly this person just walks in, nobody knows. Are they, how are you able to facilitate a communication with these beings without them freaking out?
Um, well, Brian, I've never walked into the White House. Thank you for giving me a very enticing idea.
Ah,
I imagine that version of me would be immediately detained.
right, right.
Right. But I don't tend to go into scenarios where I can't control the outcome. That's just a rule of bilocation. You want to go somewhere you're familiar. I learned that right away. You want to go somewhere where you're safe, and that way you don't run into that scenario.
So what is the future like?
Depends upon where you're going. I mean, 2030. I've went as far as 3300, and it was so bizarre I couldn't even wrap my head around it. I mean,
Yeah.
people had some people had chosen a complete path of like AI integration with their bodies. They were walking around with microchips in the side of their face, and then many had not. In 3300, many had not. Many said, "No, I like my body completely fine and natural." But there was so many different types of groups of beings working together. There were definitely a lot of I could call them extraterrestrial influence. Hmm.
So looking out from here where we're at now, when do we start to see the big changes that we've been hearing about in our shift to this sort of new earth that everybody's sort of been referring to all the way to the Bible and different channelers? They say we're about to go through this big change. When are we going to really start to see that in the world?
Well, what is your idea of what a big change would look like?
Well, substantially different from what we're used to now in terms of government and technology, and more importantly, in human capability. The kind of change where, looking into it, I would have no understanding of it. Uh, is there a way to calculate, like, is it 10 years? Is it 20 years where we start to see these changes?
With big changes that you wouldn't even know how to calculate, it's going to be around 2045. It's
2045.
it's that soon. With smaller changes that feel even unbelievable now is going to be 2032. We're going to have some smaller changes, but that look a little bit out of this world in terms of extraterrestrial influence and things of that nature.
When does the extraterrestrial influence become obvious?
Around 2028, early 2028.
Really? So it's coming very soon.
Yeah.
What does that look like? What should, is there any way anything for us to expect when this happens?
It's all over the place because we are experiencing consciousness very individually right now, not just as a collective. We have some groups of people that'll see ships in the sky. We have some human military influence that will try to hurt those ships in the sky and fight as if they're defending what they're seeing in the skies, and they will attempt to teach us that it is malevolent and that we should protect ourselves. We have some ships in the sky that are malevolent and we will need to have protection from. And then we have some beautiful benevolent beings coming as well. We have some pods that land where beings don't even come out of there. I've gotten a lot of different information about these white prism based pods. They look like a massive dome, except octagonal, many sides. They're very effervescent. They're white, but when light shines upon them, they're glimmering. They're very reflective, and if you come stand near them, it's like being in a mirrored field where you begin to get experiences of your own thoughts, your own belief systems. They're very interactive with humans. So the first contact will look like that. And the second contact will look like more of the beings in the skies and governments attempting to cloak that and hide that and shield us from that knowledge.
Now, the multiverse theory says there's multiple different futures and multiple possibilities. Are you sensing into one in particular, or is there's a set future and there's no way for us to change it? How
It's
does the
changing all the
dynamics?
time. Just
It's
as
changing.
knowing the future means it's malleable and changing just from the sheer fact of us knowing it.
Have you seen a change where you went and then you went back and things had changed just from your first experience?
All the time.
All the time.
All the time.
So you're getting a sense of a sort of probabilistic future, and most likely because of just you're the observer, kind of, you're changing it just by going through this, right?
I'm not sure if it would be one person that changes it, but it takes like a collective of people to change something. A lot
All
of
right. So when you sit with Mai in 2030, she's a full person whose life continues after you leave, or is she a probability that dissolves when you look away?
She's a person. She's a person with whom I so deeply, like my resonance is so strong that I can continue to meet her and develop that friendship. Um, and she's a person who is highly likely to be alive here today doing her work.
So can you, on the same path, go backwards in time and talk to
Yes.
people from the past?
Yeah, for whatever reason, people aren't as interested in that, but I find that equally fascinating.
Yes.
Yeah.
So tell me some really interesting ones that you've gone back and visited and talked with.
I met a Mayan priest who gave me a deep understanding of time and how the instruments operated, and the instruments we know of, such as the sundial. That was fascinating.
Very cool.
Yeah.
And anybody in history, anybody that we might be interested in that you've maybe talked with?
Well, because I am a Hamilton fan, I love musicals.
Yes.
I went back and met some of those characters. I met Hamilton
Why not? Right?
because I can, like no other reason.
Yeah.
It was so silly.
What are the changes in the past that we think something happened, but when you go look at it, it's different? Have you noticed any differences from your vision of them in the past and what we were told in history books?
All the time.
Yeah.
Absolutely all the time. And I find that what we were told in history books is so starkly different than what
Right.
actually occurred that it almost began to make me angry for a while. I started to get some cognitive dissonance building because I didn't really want to think about it, about like how much we weren't told.
Over the weekend, I was listening to Daryl Anka speak with us, and he said one of the things that they have is a recording of everything in our history, so that when we do have this event, they're going to show us, like it'll be sort of a gift. We're actually going to start to see the true past. Do you think that's true? Did you notice anything like that?
There is a tablet that I was shown. This is one of the farthest timelines I've traveled to in 3300. And one of the beings there, I believe it was Clara, showed me, she's a scientist there, and she showed me this clear tablet that not only can show you, it has massive records of our history, but people can use it personally to access their memories. People with certain diseases like Parkinson's and Alzheimer's and different levels of dementia can access their memories so that they can remember who they are. But she also showed me images of people using that improperly, like to hold the past against people, like in personal relationships. So you said this and you said that. Wait a minute, no, I didn't. And some things, ethical considerations of that particular device.
So do they remember you between visits when you speak to some of they remember you?
Yeah, all the time.
Wow.
Yeah.
So do the humans from the future have a name for people like you? Is there like a word in like 2085 for the woman who keeps showing up?
Travelers. Same words we have.
Travelers.
Yeah, travelers.
Oh, wow. Have you ever met another traveler on your path?
Yeah.
So there's multiple of you going back and forth and doing this.
Yeah, absolutely. I've met them, and we have particular semblances that we can stand out. Like if we're tired, there's a little clear line over our energy field that makes it look like our body is fading. And that's only if we're super tired or we've been there for too long.
Have any of them ever tried to send something back with you? A
Yes.
message or an instruction, a warning?
Well, no. Warnings and messages as instructions, yes, but I thought you meant physical objects, and that happened. I was sent back with a physical object.
A physical object. So talk to me about how that works. What was it?
I did not know very much about how to utilize this gift at the time. I was just beginning, and I was on a healer's massage table, someone I trust, and I was at a spiritual retreat. And I wasn't feeling well, so he took me in and did some work on my body and my light body as well. And he said, no, this is the time I brought something, but there's another time that I brought something back that I'll tell you about. But this time I brought something to the future. He gave it to me in that time in 2017. And he said, hold this, it'll help you in your travels. Now, I had not told him about my travels, so that was interesting. So I'm holding this crystal, and my hand opened, and then it was just gone. Like his experience of it was like, you opened your hand and I thought the crystal was in it and it was gone. So he said, I knew you took it, but I wanted it back. I mean, it's my favorite crystal. Like I came back and we're like looking, we're moving the mat, moving the massage table, moving all the rugs in the room. This crystal did not come back. So, and I do remember letting someone hold it when I was there, and she was like, can I keep this and study it? Another scientist. I love working with scientists, and she did, and it never came back. And me attempting to explain that to him was interesting.
Yeah. So you then talk about meeting the council. I have done some deep dives on the Council of Nine and the different councils, and also I'm fascinated by seeing reference to it in multiple different places. Tell me about your first experience with the council and what they've sort of taught you.
They call themselves the Overlords of Time and Consciousness, so they watch us as we experience time, and then they only intervene if we are absolutely destroying our planet or destroying ourselves. They can be a benevolent group who intervenes for our best interest. They explain that. They explain that they are 9 streams of consciousness, and I will meet various beings coming through each of those 9 streams that represent said stream of consciousness. But I have grown familiar with a lot of them, and I can show you their pictures if you want. I brought them.
Wow, I love that. Yeah.
So the ones I'm operating with right now, this is Zuv Nataf. This is an Andromedan male.
Okay. They have a little decal, like it's almost Star Trek-y.
Yeah. Well,
Yeah.
I'll tell you, I asked him about that because I am a huge Trekkie.
Me too. Yeah.
Yeah. So I'm like, I'm finding some similarities here. I want you guys to tell me. And they're like, well, we'll just say that the human who designed that knew something.
And it's true that he was involved in a process of channeling the Council of Nine. So that's fascinating that you found that. Yeah.
So they definitely confirmed that he was channeling 2 of their members, 2 of these beings that he was channeling. I can tell you which ones if you want. So Aranayana, this is the Pleiadian. This is from the Pleiadian Council. She represents that stream of consciousness. But again, these names may change. Different ones come all the time. These are just the main ones that I chose.
Right. Okay.
Yeah. So this is Leah Mose from Zeta, the Zeta Reticulum member.
Wow.
Otherwise known as the Z's, if you follow Lou Harris, that's that group.
Right.
We also have the Vegans. This is Kea Jok. She is vegan.
Wow.
She's a shapeshifter, not a reptilian. This is Podpoko, who is a Talsician male.
I love it.
Yeah. This is Nathia Vega, one of my favorite ones. She is Venusian. She is the reason why I was able to meet and channel Tesla.
Ah. So originally they were from Venus a long time ago. Is it the same as Ra that they speak about?
The Ra group.
The Ra group.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, wow. And so they have horns? Or is that hair right there in that picture that you showed? It looks like it's on the top.
Oh, that's not hair. Those are energy fields. That's
energy fields.
That's a vibrational antennae.
Ah.
Yeah.
Fascinating. I've always wanted to have somebody make a picture of what they look like, and I've envisioned, but I love that. So, all right. I love that. Thank you for sharing that. It helps me to see that.
Here's the Arcturian. This is Kyrverp. Very difficult to say Arcturian, but yeah.
And the eyes are all so different.
Yeah. And this is the Lyran ambassador. His name is Lycose.
Beautiful.
Yeah,
amazing.
Here is your Sirian. This is Voaz from the Sirius B constellation. And this is Zyok, who is from the Orion constellation. We have surpassed 9, but we still have different ones that come and go. This is Panopus, who is Nibiruan, sorry. Understanding of the Anunnaki comes through that one. And this is Osipov, who is Alpha Centaurian. Yeah.
So when you're interacting, is it one-on-one, or are you talking to the whole council at the same time?
A little bit of both. It depends upon who wants to come through. But if I'm channeling for a group, I would tend to choose one, but then other ones kind of take over and say, hey, I can interject and say something. And then it's collective at that time. So.
Wow. So when you're interacting with them, how does the council work with the Earth in your understanding? Are they located in our solar system? Some references say that they're like on Saturn, then some say they're just in another dimension. What did you learn about them as a group?
All the above. but they are
Yeah.
presently in our dimension because they are guardians and they are protectors. They want our best interest. The reason for that is because they are us in the future. They have been through everything we have experienced in our ascension process, in our third density awakening process, in the expansion process of our world. Therefore, we're like family. So they have to help us. They know things that could help us do better in this timeline.
What advice have they given you about what we can do in this present moment and living this life, as we move forward?
One of the greatest sets of advices that I get from them pertains to really knowing the self, letting the body practically become a part of your ascension process and awakening process. They call that practical embodiment. Understanding how to train the vibration of your thoughts is huge for them, because in the way that they teach me about how we manifest in this world is through thought, which then becomes belief system becomes emotion becomes something that we speak out loud, and when we speak it out loud, it becomes lived reality, which is that fifth stage of manifestation. So we have to train the vibrational field of our thoughts into a loving, peaceful state at all times. That's really the most important thing. Another thing that they often share is that we seem to be focused so much on waiting on the world to change externally before we make our individual changes, which they find a bit self-defeating. So they teach often that if we change and get to know the self and change our experience from within, that what we see in the world only changes when we do that.
Do you have an idea of what might be happening over, like, say, the next 6 months? We look in the short term. Have you gotten a feel for that, or can you give any guidance to the people watching, just in, say, between now and the end of the year?
Yeah, one of the biggest thing they do for me is something I call world predictions. They show me what are the largest set of potentials for us, and one large potential that I see is a current world leader leaving office, not due to being taken out or stepping down, but due to an extreme health dilemma, and that is the current American leader.
Very interesting. Any other specifics on that, or probably or best not to say, or?
Well, he may not make it, is what I'm being shown. Like, he's very, very sick.
Very interesting. All right. But there are multiple probabilities along that stream.
Multiple probabilities along that stream, absolutely. But the largest probability is not making it through the term, particularly due to poor health.
Right. And so I think I also saw that you've actually met your granddaughter, right? Tell me about that moment. You realized who she was, and you decide, what did you do with that?
I was so happy. I wasn't allowed to meet my daughter, and I think it was just, like, in that sense, very difficult to understand, like, why I couldn't see my daughter or myself. But the granddaughter thought that initially she thought she was speaking to me, and she thought I was a spiritual form because she is very spiritual.
This is a granddaughter that is alive right now, or not alive yet?
Oh, no. So I met my granddaughter and her daughter.
Oh, wow.
And she talked a lot about mom, who would be like my current daughter, Emmy. And
Right.
she was like, your mom, she was like, your mom talks so much about you. Mom has so many things to say about you. And she was talking to me as if I was past tense. And I realized she was a medium, and she thought she was talking to the dead, which terrified me, because I'm like, oh, wait, I might be dead in this timeline. So she thinks I'm a spirit. So I don't know what to
Yeah.
say. Like, it just blew my mind.
How often do you think, when people are channeling, they're talking to travelers, actually, travelers that are coming through?
I never thought about it. You always give me so many things in your work when I watch you that I go, wow, that's never crossed my mind. But I have met some travelers, And again, there's a distinct way that we talk. Some people say we talk like we're stuck in the past, that we have our own language. And in the same sense of like how my teenage daughter now says, Mom, you don't know ball, and things like that. Like she has her own language that I can't discern because I'm Gen X and I speak clearly and with grammatical skill. Um, and the
Yeah.
Gen Alpha might be missing that a little, but aside from the point, it's like we're stuck in a certain era with a certain language, with a certain understanding, and they're like you see that in people when you meet the travelers.
Now, looking back at the past through now, we can see the role of technology completely changing our consciousness just in my life. I remember when I had no computer. I mean, I was talking the other day, I even remember when we just got our microwave for the first time and all these little changes. So I can imagine, because we're going to hit the singularity, things are going to double and triple. What is the before we talk about AI, I just want to get, what is the technology like in our future? Can you tell us about it?
It's bizarre. I mean, you have some groups of people that have their phones as a chip implanted in their skull.
Right. Which we're already setting that up,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah, we're
Yeah.
already in the process of that. We have something that's like Neuralink, but that failed and it went into another deeper stage of research and trials, and it's called something else. But we have something similar to Neuralink. We One of the reasons why I'm such a health nut is because the future of health is peptides, and we
Oh,
have individual peptide uses where you can have full access to peptides, which are now currently FDA banned except for with research use only. And they cure things, they heal things, they give you access to things that keep you away from the doctor. So people aren't going to the doctor as often anymore, So we have that as a health technology. Our phones are devices that can be projected by intention through the hands, and little screen comes up in front of you, and everything you do on your phone is like a screen in front of you. You can close it and open it by certain tap signals on your wrist.
right.
um
Oh,
and you can swipe this way or you can swipe in the air. You see people walking around swiping, typing, all the little stuff in the air on their phones. There's so many different capabilities that you can
are
go.
we finally able to travel faster than the speed of light? Do we go beyond our solar system, or does that take a while?
I have not seen that yet, and that's between now and 3300 that I still haven't noticed that we're doing that, but we do have capacity for greater movement in our capacity for ships, like and our nuclear devices are powered differently as well. Plasma technology in both medicine and nuclear usage, whether it be space travel or not, has tripled. We've really capitalized on plasma-based nuclear technologies.
So I don't know what is wrong with me, because I read when people just talk about tech, there's a certain doom where any kind of major tech is bad. People talk about AI or chips in the brain. Something about me is like, yeah, I'd put a chip in there if it worked and I knew that it's totally safe and I could have better functioning of my phone. I have no problem with it. Like if like there's been a trials, and when people hear you say that, they think that, well, that's the apocalypse. That's the mark of of the beast when we all have a chip, right? And so then when I look at the way the AI has sort of evolved with us, it's all been about our consciousness sort of wanting to expand and make life easier. So then let's talk about AI. The future humans you speak with are living downstream of what we're building this decade. We're seeing the beginnings of it. Just like with electricity, it can kill us, but it could also light our house up. Can you talk about AI from your perspective, seeing it downstream?
Well, it's difficult at first because we have the periods of time that we're experiencing now, where humans from the future told me that we're going to lose a lot of jobs to AI. And losing jobs to AI was very, very difficult. But people begin to duplicate and create art with AI, create songs with AI. I mean, you're experiencing that now, right? That had to ethically change first before anyone began to really trust AI or formulate any sort of proactive curiosity towards it. So we had to create systems of oversight for this AI technology, which we did. We have them in place by 2028 and late 2029. And we have ethics in art, ethics in music, ethics in healthcare for AI, ethics in human-held job positions. All of that begins to shift dramatically quickly so that we can develop more trust for AI because it's not taking over our humanity. And we get there.
You introduced John, a whistleblower from 2030. What did he tell you about the public perception of extraterrestrials that look by then?
He said that, wait, how extraterrestrials looked or how we look?
Just in extraterrestrial, the public perception of extraterrestrials, does it start to change how we see them now and all the way to 2030? I think is when he said he was a whistleblower from 2030, right?
Mm-hmm.
So, just what did you learn from John in general?
I remember that he told me that there was going to be a movie that was coming out, and he titled the movie Disclosure.
Ah.
And he said everything that the council has told you is in that movie, and it is true. And that is going to be disclosed. So when the movie comes out, it's going to prepare people for the disclosure that needs to happen from the 1940s, from pre-Roswell to everything that happened thereafter and everything that is happening now and will happen in 2028 to 2032 with extraterrestrials, that movie will prepare us for what's coming. And I'm like, I don't believe him. I'm really bad about this kind of stuff. Like, I'm like, yeah, right. We're not going to get a movie that tells me what you guys have told me about it. Like that would be, how is that going to happen? But it did happen. And here we are. Yeah. Right. And he told us that because we were more prepared, not just from that movie, but from different explorative vantage point, different panels. I'm sure many of you are familiar with Stephen Greer, the different panels that are coming out through Congresswoman Luna. Like he loves Congresswoman Luna, and he loves what she discusses and all the various things that are brought to light in these panels. And that so many disclosures happened by then that we kind of went, yeah, it's about time.
Finally. Right.
Yeah,
I get that feeling already.
Yeah, we know.
Yeah. It doesn't matter what happens. There's always going to be maybe 10% that are going to freak out. And they've been so scared of that 10% freaking out. I don't think it's going to be as bad as people think. Maybe that's just the idea I get, is that people are so afraid of this disclosure, like the whole world's going to crumble and break down. It's just not true. We've been ready for this for years now, right?
Yeah, we have. And he said also that people thought that it was going to crack religion and make it not accessible or not as believable. And he said, as a matter of fact, people just thought it was a part of God's plan and it didn't touch religion at all.
Right. I mean, you have a pretty small and very limited God. If that God would only have one planet with one species and all the universe is just dead, I would be shocked, right? If that's your belief, I'd love to understand that. So
exactly.
I keep on wanting to come back to Nathia, the Venusian from the Raw group that you spoke to. Talk about that particular, because I feel connected to them. Talk about what it's like when you speak to them and what the kind of feelings and what you hear from them when you talk to Nathia.
Yeah. Nathia is a gorgeous soul. She is very multidimensional. She has this capacity to make me see what I call the middle way. Like, she believes that in dualism that we're taught that truth is either good or bad and our brain divides everything. But she also teaches the middle way, which is the concept that you can pull from what's helpful to you in darkness and in duality, and you can pull from what's helpful to you in 5D and in light, and that you don't have to make one good or one bad, that you can pull from what's helpful to access the most mastered components of your consciousness. She believes that the higher self, spirit guides, beings in other timelines are all fractals of you, like of me, you, everyone, that we're all parts of a greater whole. And she believes that me accessing her, that she would just be a part of my mastered self. In the same way that Bashar often says, people say, oh, you're just channeling a part of myself. And he's like, yeah, it could be, right? She believes that to be firmly true, that just by the science of it, that because wholeness is true, that everything you see is a part of you.
Common element with a lot of the channelings that I've read is that we're moving towards a sort of form of group consciousness beyond our limited consciousness now, which is hard for people to perceive. So, what is your perception of that? Are we in our body, but also at the same time feeling the thoughts of others? Or how does that explain it so we can understand that element if you can?
The way that Nathia has presented that to me is that we had different worlds in our past. We had different experiences deep in the past where we were only experiencing reality as a collective. We were manifesting our karma. Karma, the only definition she has of that is energy in motion. She doesn't believe it is good or bad, but just creation, a creative field. But we did that with our thoughts and dreams and intentions collectively. And that at that time, Ascension was a numbers game. So the more people that thought about something and intended strongly and put a lot of passion and excitement behind something, the better the potential outcome for a larger group. Then she felt like in modern times, we began to switch to more individual-based manifestation and learning and expansion modules. She said that's been very destructive for us and selfish. Because if one person can affect so many, where is the free agency in that? That's how she describes it, and I agree with her. She believes that now, from what she's sharing with me, we are bridging the gap between individual creation and creation in the human conscious collective. And she said that we're pioneering that, and that's a brand new field where the individual counts and so does the whole.
When do you think we reach that full social memory complex that Ra talks about, where it's almost like a separate living being that is a group of beings at the same time? What year do you think that cross happens?
I saw signs of that in 3300.
Right. Okay.
I also saw signs of that sooner. I've seen it in 2200 and 2300. I think we're a little ways out for that yet, because typically when we do that, we'll experience a dissociation, some cognitive dissonance, some spiritual schizophrenia. We haven't been able to mentally handle that just yet.
Right.
But we will.
So would you like to go somewhere for us on camera right now in the future?
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
Well, take us to a place that you think we really, that would, you've been to, that maybe someplace in the future that we might find interesting or entertaining. If you could, I trust you, and we can go. Where would you take us if you wanted to take us for a journey?
I've been going closer in timeline to give people some hope about the near future. So I've been going to like 2030, 2033. Been talking to Mai because I'm familiar with her, and
Yeah. Tell us a little bit. We went over that a little bit more about her.
Mai is a biological anthropologist. She studies the culture and lives of people. She studies what we eat and drink. She studies our habits socially. She studies our bodies and how that affects our health, both mentally and physically.
And what have you learned from her in particular?
I've learned that we are resilient, we are strong, and that we are highly capable of adapting and positively changing the world and ourselves.
Wonderful. So how does the process work? How long does it take you to go and do that?
It takes me about 30 seconds.
All right. Well, let's give it a try. Appreciate it.
So what year do you want to go to? I've reached her all over the place.
2033 sounds great.
Okay. Mai lives in a high-rise in New York City, and I'm always like just really happy to see that New York is still doing so great. So I can't tell you that I'm seeing anything that's red flagging me about New York. It is June the 11th, 2033, and she is definitely ready to talk to you.
We'll say hello, and thank you for joining us. It is an honor to speak with her.
She says, "Thank you, the honor is mine."
Can you help us to understand our era that we cannot see from inside it? What do you understand about looking back at this time that we cannot see from inside of it?
She said, you are what I call the exhausted pioneers. You are visionaries. And as your systems and structures in your cultures are breaking down around your feet, you are terrified because you don't have the new systems and structures that you require, whether it be financial and economic, politically speaking, healthcare, or anything else. Because you don't know where you're going, you're terrified, but you need change so much that you are working together to pioneer a brilliant future. So we are coming to you with great respect because you are the reason why we are where we are today. You are the reason why our environment is healing. You are the reason why we don't have as much war. You are the reason why we still have our freedoms, because you are bold enough to become those visionary pioneers.
What is one thing a person in 2026 could do today that changes your world?
You could put down your devices more often. You could connect to the technology that is already within you, the technology of the soul itself. When you utilize the soul as a technology, your entire life is going to change. And then any other technologies that you utilize will be utilized in a healthy way and will be for your benefit, not detriment. Currently, you are using technology for great detriment.
What in particular of our use of technology is to a detriment? How can we correct that?
It's called cloud fishing. Have you heard of it? She says.
Not yet, no.
She hasn't had this conversation with me, Pamela, yet, so I'm curious too.
Yeah.
She says cloud fishing, Claude is an AI. And when you're cloud fishing, the majority of the creations and templates that you put out into the world are from AI. You put it out as if it's your own and you take responsibility for the creation. You use it to build everything, whether it be ebooks, regular books, templates for your creative life. There's nothing wrong with creating something and then asking AI technology to help you develop it practically and technologically, but you should come up with the creative components of, well, your creation. You should come up with the ideas. You should come up with what that looks like. And then if you need help building it with AI, by all means do. But you're allowing AI to replace the human soul, and then you're putting it out as if it is creatively unique to you. That is cloud fishing, and it takes away humanity.
Are there movies and TV shows that you recommend that we watch when they come out?
There will be an entire Netflix series about this coming out in 2028.
All right. And can you give investment advice?
Not generally, because it's changing all the time, but it just really depends. If I were to say to financially invest, I'm going to go with rare metals and gold.
And what are we getting? Is there anything that we're getting wrong right now about what matters that we can adjust, that you could tell us, project through from that future point?
You're too dependent upon your healthcare systems and your corporate jobs. It's not that it's wrong. It's not that it's right. It's all that you know. Begin to create a new knowledge. You can't depend upon these things. AI is going to start to take over both fields. What will you do then? You need to develop a trade, a talent, a skill. You need to develop your own platforms and your own lines of employment.
What would you recommend that we look for in finding new jobs and careers in the future that fit within that?
Trade skills and personal services is the way of the future.
What happens with art in the future?
After the ethical laws are established and the oversight committee for AI is established and implemented, artists get their art back. And new artists, you have to depend upon yourselves, which you should have to begin with.
Is there anything else that you would like for us to know?
I want you to know that we are so thankful for your visions. You are creative visionaries, and you are bold enough to implement those visions during highly difficult transitions and periods of time. We find you to be courageous and beautiful, and we are so proud of you.
at times it feels like as I watch the media and doom scroll on my phone, that a lot of what I'm seeing is a distortion of the truth. And downstream, you've seen more of the truth come out. Can you tell us the things that are distortions now that may appear to be truthful but are not?
Well, for instance, how much water AI actually uses. Do you know that YouTube alone uses more than one AI storehouse or building?
So is there something we can do with water, our understanding of water in the future?
Learn permaculture. Learn how to garden for your own food. I'm sure the outbreak in Michigan is making this one do so. So in this space, learn to grow and water your own food. Learn different permacultural ways to store water. Learn about drip gardening. Go beyond hydroponics and aquaponics. Go deeper and learn water usage in the way that the Mayans did.
Is there any natural disasters to become aware of in certain locations around the world between now and then that you can alert us to?
Too many to count. You have unprecedented environmental concerns. For instance, this month and next month, sometime between now and August, you will have snow in a portion of the world that never gets snow. So much snow that it freezes your road systems and there's no way to warm them back up. You have
What is the best
unprecedented drought systems. You have an unprecedented amount of hurricanes and tsunamis. It's worsening.
do you have a recommendation? What's the best place to live?
Wisconsin, Michigan, Maine, Vermont.
Well, thank you so much. It's been a really real honor to meet you, and I hope in 5 years that I can shake your hand and you can come and meet me. All right?
We should plan on it.
Let's plan on it. Thank you, thank you, thank you.
Give me a second. It's harder coming back.
Yeah, I understand.
Had a lot of questions like, why did you become an athlete at age 50? And I'm like, because I need to be strong to do this.
Yeah, so tell me about what happens. Does it take energy from you to do this?
Yeah, it hurts down to the bones. It's very physically draining.
Oh, no.
Yeah.
Does it take days to recover from it?
No, you as you become more mastered, you can recover in like an hour.
Right.
But it's not easy.
So you've been doing this for 45 years then?
No,
Right.
I didn't actually start getting trained in this until age 39. I'm 50.
Okay.
So,
But from 5 to 39, it was just exploring the unseen and
Yeah.
different entities coming through.
yeah, channeling and connecting to the council, and they're preparing me more mentally.
Right. Fascinating. I'm absolutely fascinated by this. If somebody wants to do what you're doing, how do they do that?
Go to my Patreon channel and go into the search tool and look up a process called CE1, Close Encounters of the First Kind.
Right. And people can find your website and Patreon on your website, right? It's PamelaAaralyn.com.
Yeah.
Correct?
Yeah.
So exciting. So is there any other really cool details that we haven't really covered about what you've discovered in your journeys?
I mean, most people's idea of cool things are not my idea. I like practical things. I'm learning how to practically embody the information and just live a practical human, as normal as I can be with all this life.
Yeah. Does it become overwhelming sometimes, having all this knowledge and information?
Yeah, absolutely.
Can you give me one prediction with a date attached to it that you're willing to sort of, you feel strongly about that we should be aware of?
Late 2028, sometime between December of 28 and February of 2029, the council has said that we have to make an important choice on what to believe, because we get such a powerful disclosure that's visible for everyone, and then the government tries to completely obliterate the information and tell us that's not what we saw, and we all feel collectively gaslit.
Wow. All right. Well, it's good to know. I'm going to remember that. That's for sure.
Yeah, selective
So,
gaslighting. It's not a fun feeling, right?
yeah. Well, I want to thank you because you put up with some technical difficulties and the universe tried to stop us from connecting, but we made it. It's been a real honor to meet you. I'd really love to have you back. We're dealing with the same issues in a practical matter, exploring these worlds on my channel. And it's so wonderful to talk to somebody that's actually doing these things and to confirm it. The future exists and we can communicate with it, and it's pulling us back forward and changing us. It feels like that to me, that there is a sort of retro causality happening. The
Absolutely.
future is changing us,
I
right?
believe that too. Yeah.
Yeah. And
Hmm.
we can take advantage of that. Can we
Hmm.
change our past?
Mm-mm.
No, we can't. But we can change, but the future can change us.
Yes.
All right. So everybody that wants to find out more can find PamelaAaralyn.com, 3 A's, Pamela and then Aaralyn with a Y.com. And I'll have the link in the description. And it's been a real wonderful honor to speak with you. Thank you so much.
Thank you so
And
much.
welcome to the Reality Revolution. Welcome to the Reality Revolution. I am so excited to cordially invite you to an amazing event we're hosting in Austin on September 18th through the 20th. We're going to take you into the large sums of money portal, into the vortex where you live in the reality where large sums of money come to you. Almost 10 million of you have listened to one meditation on my channel. And my comment section is filled every single day with people telling me the same impossible story. Money showed up, unexpected checks, refunds out of nowhere, raises, clients, windfalls. And the amazing thing is, it's not just a little bit, it's large sums of money, just as those words denote. From one affirmation, this September 18th through the 20th in Austin at the Hyatt Regency, we're going to do it together in one room for the very first time. Years ago, I found the affirmation that I changed my entire financial life with. I have read it thousands of times. Millions of you have fallen asleep to it. People call it the master code. And here it is. You know it well. You can probably say it with me. I am so happy and grateful now that large sums of money come to me easily and quickly in increasing quantities from multiple sources on a continuous basis in the best interest of all, that I get to keep, give, spend, and invest joyfully. This has been the master code of my life, and so many of you. It has changed my life in so many ways. Every single word in that affirmation has come true in my life, and there's nothing I want more than for you to experience the same thing. Every word is deliberate, large sums coming to you easily and quickly from many sources continuously in the best interest of all. This is the affirmation people have written to me about, from their cars after an unexpected deposit, from their kitchens the morning a check arrived, from lives that changed after they simply kept listening. It works. You had told me it works. Tens of millions of views later in a comment section that reads like a miracle log. Read the comments under that meditation right now. Real people, strangers to each other, saying the same thing in thousands of different ways. The money came, the exact amount they needed, the opportunity they had given up on, the doors that opened the week they started listening. And here's what stays with me the most. The people who come to my live events tell me the same thing every single time, that being in the room in 3 days does what years of listening alone was building toward. The meditation opens the door. The room walks you through it. For the first time ever, I'm taking the master code deep for 3 days into a room. For 3 days this September. An entire event built around shifting you into the large sums of money future that is available to you. 9 immersive sessions. We open by unleashing infinite streams of money. We walk through a range of money. We quantum jump into large sums of money together. You come face to face with the wealthiest self of you in the multiverse. And we live inside this affirmation for 3 days until it becomes deeply embedded in our DNA, until it is no longer something that you listen to. It is who you are. This is the most powerful way I have ever found to transform money in a person's life, and I have only ever been able to give you a piece of it through the screen. I'm going to give you all the most advanced teachings on money, ways I was able to make money. I want to show you that in this new economy, in this new age, that you have access to infinite streams of money, that it's available to you now. We're living in the best time ever to be prosperous and free. I'm also bringing things into the room that I've never done at any event. I'm keeping them a surprise. What I will tell you, this is the first time gathering around the Master Code in person for 3 days, and it will only be the first time once. You're going to want to say that you were there when it happened. You're going to want to be the one sharing your success story in the way that it changed your life, in the way large sums of money came to you.
Today was my first day with Brian Scott. It was just a wonderful experience.
So my favorite one that has always resonated with me is the manifesting abundance mindset. So like I am so happy and grateful that large sums of money come to me easily and quickly.
I've been a fan of Brian Scott's for years, and the opportunity to see this event live exceeded my expectations.
I'm so grateful to be here. I've been listening to Brian's stuff for 2 years. I'd say Brian really changed my life.
When we come together, everybody's affected by it. Even if you don't necessarily believe, the energy of it is so incredibly powerful and magnetic. The room is small on purpose, every seat within arm's reach of me, and these seats are going quickly. We have a lower early bird price than any of my other events, specifically targeted so that if you're interested in going to one of my events, this is the perfect time to go. I'm so excited to go to Austin, one of my favorite places in the world. Austin is such a creative, unique, vibrant city. It is the perfect place for us to manifest large sums of money into our life. September 18th through the 20th, you can find the link in the description at www.brianscottlive.com/Austin-2026. I cannot wait to see you there.